research. Today, IQAC of our college, Internal Quality Assurance Cell of our college, organizes this 5-day workshop, online workshop on e-learning and e-content development as a capacity building program. And information technology and the internet are major driving forces of research, innovation, growth.
Sir, you can continue, sir. Now it's okay.
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 E-content and e-learning require large amount of creativity, both at information level as well as technological level. In this digital era, teachers, especially teachers who are working from primary level to higher education level, must know and understand the use of digital content, and also they must know the devices, what are they, and which will improve the teaching learning process, and it enhances the educational opportunities and its benefits, of course. I hope this webinar, this workshop, online 5 days online workshop, will explain the importance of e-learning, e-content development and its design. In this juncture, I congratulate Dr. Amudaranjani as well as Dr. Sasipriya, Dr. Anupriya Mel, who have been taking to organize this excellent program, capacity building program for the participants like you. I really appreciate the professors, and also I appreciate the faculty members of our institution in this occasion. I invite and welcome Professor Dr. R. Ramnath, Department of Education, Alampa University. And today's session, I think, related to learning through Moodle. And he will explain so many things in terms of Moodles and e-learning, e-content development. In this situation, I really thank Dr. Senthilnathan, Professor, Department of Department of Education Technology, Bharathidasan University, who have extended his help for the development of our VOCCE. I really congratulate and thank sir. And also, it's my pleasure welcoming all the participants across the country. Once again, I welcome one and all for this wonderful workshop, online workshop. Thank you. Over to Dr. Sasipriya.
Thank you so much, sir, for your words of welcome. Now I request Dr. G. Amudaranjani, Assistant Professor in Biological Science, VOC College of Education, to present the keynote address. Ma'am, please.
Yes. Good morning to all. It's a honor and great pleasure to deliver keynote address for this today's workshop. Now I thank Almighty God to start our first day workshop. My sincere thanks to our management, principal sir, and all the staff members of VOC College of Education Thoothukudi for their encouragement and support. Today, it's the first day of our workshop. Totally, we plan to organize 5 days capacity building workshop on e-learning and e-content development. First of all, why we choose this topic for our capacity building workshop? This e-content development is essential for our teaching learning process, and it upgrades our institution in all aspects and also our students. So this e-content preparation is a vast area. First, we plan to conduct this program and we get permission from the management and also from the principal. Suddenly, we approached Dr. Senthilnathan sir from Bharathiar University, Trichy. Really, I'm telling to you, sir accepted our greetings and arranged all these schedules for the 5 days capacity building workshop. Now, I wholeheartedly thank our professor, Dr. Senthilnathan sir. This e-content development, it's a module preparation. We can simply saying this e-content, but it's a depth area. Number of aspects like text, animation, videos, etc. fixed with time duration, and we can prepare that particular e-content. So only we plan to arrange this e-content development just from a team of workshop members.
Dr. Anupriya?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
She has net issues.
Okay.
Madam Amudaranjani
Okay.
has some net issues.
Okay, right. Thank you, ma'am. We are not able to connect you. Okay, right. Now I request Dr. R. Sasipriya, Assistant Professor in Physical Science and Coordinator of IQAC, to introduce the resource person. Ma'am, please.
Yes, ma'am. Warm greetings to everyone gathered here. At the outset, I would like to thank the participants, the resourceful resource persons, Dr. Senthilnathan, Dr. Ramnath, Dr. Muthupandi, and Dr. Edward Bakiraj for accepting our invitation and joining with us in this IKAC VOCCU learning platform. I am very proud to introduce Dr. Ramnath, the resource person of today's session on e-learning through Moodle and introduction. Dr. Ram Ganesh is working as assistant professor in Department of Education in Allahabad University at Karakuri from 2008. He has guided 70 MAT, 12 MPhil and 10 PhD research scholars. He has written 17 chapters in various books. He has published 47 articles in national peer-reviewed journal, 18 articles in international peer-reviewed journals, and 3 articles in the Scopus Syntax International journals. He has developed 12 MOOC modules for SWAYAM and 1 MOOC module for IUCPE Mysore. He has organized 2 national level conferences, 2 national level workshops, 2 international level workshops, and 9 state level workshops and many training programs. Our Tamil Nadu government awarded him with Best Campaigner Award for the Operation Enlightenment scheme in the year 1994. He is awarded with Mr. AUCE 2005 Award, Pasumpan Muthuramalingam Thevar Cash Award, Tirukural Neri Kavinger Award, and Kaviyarasu Award by Tamil Nadu Textbook Corporation. He has completed 12 projects funded from MHRD, SSA, and RMSA worth 22.29 lakhs. He has one ongoing project funded by RUSA worth rupees 27 lakh, and he has submitted proposals to SPARK worth rupees 75 lakhs and Impress worth rupees 14.5 lakhs. He has delivered 93 special lectures in various training programs and conferences. With a small introduction, I welcome Dr. Ramnath for this session. Now, let me hand over the session to the resource person of today's workshop, Dr. Ramnath. He has a personal insight into e-learning through Moodle and introduction.
Okay. Thank you, madam. Thanks for the introduction and as well as the invitation. And I am very much thankful to the. Am I audible to everyone? Am I audible? Is my voice audible to everyone?
Audible, sir.
Okay, thank you. And I am very much fortunate to join with you in this August forum. Very good morning to Professor the Principal and Kanagaraj sir and Rasul Mugadin sir, Sasi Priya madam, and Amudaranjani madam, and faculty member who is going to propose a vote of thanks. I think Karunya mailed something, I forgot the name. And all the faculty members of VOC College of Education for having invited me to deliver a lecture on e-learning through Moodle. Although the term e-learning seems to be an umbrella term, the moment Sendil Lavan sir and Ammudaranjani madam requested me to deliver a lecture on this topic, I was little hesitating because it is a very umbrella term how we are going to cover it in a very short period of time. So I was little hesitating. But although within the stipulated short time, I have planned the 2 compartmentalization of this presentation. The one is first half an hour just I will be talking about e-learning and e-learning through Moodle, and I will make you to get insight on e-learning and its various dimension and how it has an accumulation with Moodle. And later on I will take you to the tutorial session for the Moodle Cloud, how to register yourself and register your site, and how to make a content, and how to upload your users, and how to start your own site for MoodleCloud.com. So this particular session will be all about, in fact, 2 sessions. The one is the presentation is about introduction part, and the second one is about tutorial session for Moodle. Now let me start. The participants who have doubt can raise their hand through that nod reactions, which is dedicated in the left, just top corner of your screen. And today's topic is all about an introduction to e-learning through Moodle. Before going to talk about Moodle, let me just give you a small introduction about so the most of the things will be all about Moodle only. Regarding e-learning, there is a question that learning is to be prefixed by e. How to be prefixed? To prefix e or not? Actually, if you wanted to prefix e, or if you don't want to prefix e, it is all in the hand of an individual. So, for example, to answer this particular $1 million questions, there are 3 important domains to be concentrated. The one is actually e-learning knowledge. What knowledge you have on e-learning? And the second one is actually what kind of adaptation capability you have. Only then you can move to the social aspect of the e-learning is willingness and urge to learn new things. So with 3 dimensions only, we can go through this e-learning program. And when we come to the context of e-learning, e-learning is just learning that utilizes electronic technology to access curriculum. No other go. But also it is cases, it is also may be a course, or it may be a program, or it may be a degree completely. Not only a curriculum, the total course, program, or degree can be accessed through e-learning. But the aforesaid information is just all about literal meaning. But the epistemological meaning of e-learning is there.
அவங்களுக்கு அந்த ஹாஸ்பிடல் இது அந்த சர்ஜரி இது மட்டும் தான் ஞாபகம் இருக்கு. மத்ததெல்லாம் முக்காவாசி மறந்துருக்கும்.
Madam, actually, someone's voice is interrupting. Kindly just turn off your microphone, please. We have a misconception that e-learning is a learning. E-learning is not at all a learning. E-learning is a system first. E-learning is a system just to be obtained through internet. But on the same cases, for example, if teacher teaches through PowerPoint and the students taking notes in paper pencil, it doesn't mean that it is a e-learning. E-learning is both the end user, I mean the participant, attendee, as well as the producer of information, source of information. Both should connect with an electronic gadget, and the information must have been shared. Only then it is going to be an e-learning. And next we will move to e-learning is also popularly known as online learning or online education. Now we will come to know that actually how e-learning networks is working. It is a network of knowledge. Actually, learning can be self-learning or personalized learning or individualized learning. But probably e-learning will never be an individualized or will never be a personalized, will never be a self-learning. Although it's a learning their own pace, but it cannot be considered to be a self. That is why the e-learning is also considered to be just it's a learning network. So what are all the networks? Just it is there, learning community, many people are involved. Due to want of time, let me drift some of the slide and I will move for the tutorial session. And it refers to the network that provide knowledge and skills to one or more individual, but which time both simultaneously, I mean synchronous as well as an individual learn. It is two individual, but it's not a self. And next, when we come to the context of evolution, it starts from videos and audio tapes, then it moved into computer-based self-paced training, then self-paced multimedia, then e-learning. Now the via or just the state of e-learning is in the concept of blended learning, inoperative, and just I will explain you the concept of blended learning. in the slides ahead. And when we come to the context of now, we are just talking about how e-learning have been emerged from learning with an infusion of technology. So initially, e-learning was considered to be a computer-based training only. Actually, training with the help of computer, where the computer was in the hand of presenter only, speaker alone, source of information only. But later on, the e-learning have been just actually branched out into computer supported collaborative learning. That is what is called the CSCM, computer supported collaborative learning. In this context, where both end users in the sense attendees, final attendees, as well as the producer of information, both can share the information, that is encouraged the shared development of knowledge. So in such a case, e-learning have been metamorphosized from computer-based learning to computer-supported collaborative learning, CBL to CSCM. And this is metamorphosis. Initially, e-learning was considered to be distance learning, then online learning. After that, it has come to the context of distributed learning. How it is distributed, you know pretty well that the distribution with the help of learning community, online and offline programs, organizational learning programs, and just open source software. With the help of the different components, the learning is distributed, so it is called distributed learning. Now our job has to come to e-learning. And network learning and open learning is actually very off late, it's a very emerging topic that we will talk in the slides ahead. And what not e-learning? E-learning means actually, it's already I told you in the second slide itself, e-learning is not a learning. E-learning is a system. We have to have a basic understanding that e-learning is not considered to be a process of learning. It is a process of making people to learn through online platform. That is why it is a system. So it is not reading a document and not conflict with classroom training. Since the learning is prefixed with the electronic e-learning, it doesn't mean that it's conflict with the classroom training. So at last, the e-learning is nothing but just it combines the electronic applications or electronic features of the internet with the other methodologies. For example, no methodology, no e-learning is possible. So when methodologies are having actually infusion, when methodologies are cemented with e-learning concept or e-learning features, it can be designated as the blended learning. Now we let's move to the very emergent topic. Now I am preparing you to get an insight on what is e-learning first. Then we will move to e-learning components, pros and cons like that. Then we will move to e-learning with Moodle. Then we will move to e-learning through Moodle. Now, you might have heard about the concept of Web 2.0, Web 3.0. But you might not have heard about e-learning 2.0. If you have an insight, it is very apt only. E-learning 2.0 is nothing but just it is emerged from the concept of Web 2.0. You know pretty well that webcasting, I mean podcasting, wiki, RSS feed, most of the Web 2.0 tools are there. When Web 2.0s are actually make use of learning purpose, both in synchronous as well as non-synchronous, I mean asynchronous, it can be designated as e-learning 2.0. It means that the use of social networking sites has a plethora role. That is what called the e-learning 2.0. Now, this word cloud, from this word cloud, you can come to know that what are all the important behavioral changes that have been taking place out of the emergence of e-learning 2.0. Now,
Excuse me, sir.
we let's move to
Excuse me.
e-learning 2.0. How it
Sir,
is the
please.
e-learning 2.0? So regarding e-learning, it is having a notion, or it is having a watchword that knowledge is always constructed under social setting, and the conversation is given due recognition with the help of the grounded information. So interaction or conversation is considered to be a great medium for the e-learning 2.0. In such a case, what are all the tools, techniques, applications or software that enable a learner to learn through social settings, which all put together under the concept of e-learning 2.0. Now, what encompasses in the e-learning? Exactly. How it is going to be e-learning? E-learning is always the concept of it. It should give a room for virtual presentation, and e-learning should give for virtual interaction with people as well as real things. And whiteboard technology, what we call it as an online board. Whiteboard technology also must be presented. Then webbook training manual enable. But a very important concept of e-learning is actually simulation and game. Now, of late, it is coined as gamification. Actually, infusion of games with learning is gamification. By default, assessment and quizzes at last tracking the progress of, tracking the learning of the participants. If a particular site or particular application or particular tool or particular portal, when it has all those aforesaid or aforementioned features, alone can be considered to be an e-learning system. Now, although there are plenty number of types of e-learning based on features, spaces, types, sample, end users, producers, generally, e-learning based on its transaction, it can be classified into 4 groups. Learner-led. Learner-led means here instruction is given, but the learner himself or herself can take e-learning at their own pace. But it is a fully instructor-led and facilitated e-learning, embedded e-learning. So what we are going to talk about Moodle will be coming all around. It's not a learner-led, it's not an instructor-led. It is an integration of, it is a midway between actually instructor and the learner-led, what is called facilitated e-learning. Then embedded e-learning is little advanced, that we will talk in the slides ahead. And when we come to that concept types, the major 2 types is synchronous and then asynchronous. So regarding types of e-learning, you can just know that synchronous. Synchronous means actually online, it having a virtual face-to-face. It is not a real face-to-face, but it is an on par with the face-to-face, what is called synchronous, asynchronous and self-directed. In most of the cases, you have come across with only 2 types of styles with e-learning. But whereas in the context, the things which I am telling you, self-directed is a later emergence of the style of e-learning. You might have heard about pedagogy, andragogy, and heutagogy. Heutagogy is nothing but the self-directed learning. Self-directed and self-determined learning classifies andragogy and heutagogy. Now the 4th gogy is what is called the techno-heutagogy, because each and every learner can learn at their own pace with the help of electronic devices, what is called the techno-heutagogy. So synchronous is nothing but it is an online class only, where it will be taking place at a particular time only. But asynchronous is the learning or documents or the learning materials would have been uploaded in the site, but it can be used, it can be accessed by the end user, I mean participant or learner, at any time, anywhere, just at any gadget, what is called the asynchronous and synchronous type of learning. And regarding e-learning typology, you know pretty well that is VLE, Here VLE stands for Virtual Learning Environment. E-learning stands for Virtual Learning Environment. In this virtual learning environment, it gives room for instant messaging, audio, video conferencing, and digital chat rooms. What are all the things given in that? But asynchronous, you cannot just chat immediately unless otherwise just you are connected by other devices, other gadgets. So it is asynchronous. Now, there are 4 types of typologies that have been identified in the context of e-learning. The first type is classes is by online. Classes conducted by online, but services is another mode. In the second time, the services is conducted online, but the classes may be in another platform. But the third thing is both inspection and services are online. Here it is an online is mandatory. So what we are going to talk about Moodle is falling under the extreme e-learning category. Initially e-learning was type 1. Any one of the component, either test or delivery of information or inspection. So any one of the things can make use of e-learning, electronic gadget. But the partial electronic gadget, 75% of electronic usage and 100% electronic usage. These type of 4 type of e-learning have been used. And this is another important thing, how synchronous and asynchronous increases the type of communication and temporal dimensions. That let me see. And the fourth important third important style of e-learning is self-directed. As I told you earlier, self-directed is just also called the pedagogy. Here, the students will act alone. They will act alone, and
excuse me, Professor. Excuse me. Sorry for the disturbance. Actually, some of the professors have noted that the screen is not visible. So, in which so that please, which they have to pin. Please note or please inform which one they have to pin.
Sir, kindly pin the presentation view up. Dr. Ramnath.
Yes, let me pin.
One more. Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you.
No, this screen is not that much visible. Actually, it is made only white only. But people who are using mobile phone is a problem, or people who are in desktop also a problem?
Sir, desktop there is no problem, sir. It's full screen with proper voice itself, sir. No problem.
No, it is no, it is always there. The problem. That is why I did not do the online demonstration. That is why I made just a screenshot of all those demonstrations. Probably there will be little problem in the mobile phone. The people who are having just connected with the mobile phone are requested to come to little shadow where there is a shadow. Suppose if they are under direct sunlight or direct exposure of the tube light, they can come little away from the light so that the screen will be appear to be good. Okay, sir. Okay.
Sir, there is no problem in that slide itself. They are asking that is a PowerPoint does not display proper. They are asking. That's all.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Now it's okay, sir.
Okay. Then you don't want to highlight it. You don't want to highlight. Only arrow. Okay. Then here students will act alone only, and instructor has no role. But when we come to the context of self-direction, it is a very old caption that the self-direction, they can listen, they can read, they can write, and they can practice. So here almost all the components of learning is taking place by the students only. And the benefits of e-learning, you know pretty well that it is a cost effective, it saves time, and just it's lower. These are all the benefits of e-learning, you know pretty well. And now a great challenge. I can't say that it is a limitation of e-learning. But we have to consider that there are three important aspects. There are three important human dimensions for just accessing e-learning as a challenge. The one is a technical aspect. Even right now, there is a, although I am very much careful and I am little techno savvy, but I just come to know that people are not in a position to see the screen there. Then I will switch over the basic actually background of PowerPoint in the due courses. So this is a kind of a technical aspect, always is challenging to the e-learning. Then financial aspect, human aspect. Financial aspect in the sense, once the gadget is procured, then it will be no cost. But the procuring of gadget is matter. So the challenges of e-learning can be in fact understood by this concept. When we come to the context of challenges or delimitation of e-learning, everyone knows that transmission is always a problem. In fact, transmission is not at all a problem nowadays. Rather, we have to be worried about learning styles as well as web support is the problem. Now everyone is having the gadget, but the problem is that supporting of the platform is the problem, and learning style is also another problem. So don't confine only with the transmission, also to have to look into that learning style as well as web support. These are all the challenges that you can go into the deeper when you find some free time. And in the second and third slides, I told that actually e-learning is a system. Actually, let me remind you that again, e-learning at any cost, it is not at all a learning, it is a system. So this particular system, this e-learning figure out, just there are 5 important component of steps to be considered under e-learning system. First, you have to, or we have to figure out what is our need in the e-learning, because e-learning is an umbrella. You can do lot of wonders in e-learning, but you have to delimit yourself what is your exact need under this e-learning platform. Only then you can move to a small scale setup. For example, if you want to conduct an online quiz, directly you cannot conduct an online quiz, for which at least you have to delimit your objective there. How can I know myself to conduct online quiz? That is the first page of e-learning, for which you need to go to YouTube and learn a tutorial how to conduct a quiz in YouTube. Quizzes or quiz alert, many kind of polls and everywhere, many of them there. So this kind of small scale eliciting, small scale of endeavor is essential. Then you can communicate with the students, and then you can go for training, and you can go for that environment. Then you can expand the skill. Sorry, here little mistake is that totally 6 components, but it's a typological error. Please accept my apology. And so this is a e-learning system, and e-learning content itself as having confusion with from author, instructor, virtual environment, and learner. When we come to the context, author is one phase, and the author never will be an instructor. Instructor from some author may be an instructor, but in e-learning system, instructor is different, author is different. So author, instructor, then virtual learning environment, then it will move to learner. How it moves? That is moving through LMS, what we are going to talk about, learning management system, what is called the Moodle. So this learning management system is playing pivotal role in a consistent online ecosystem, or in consistency of the learning ecosystem of higher education institution especially, that we are going to talk. And now when we come to the context of another e-learning system, mostly e-learning system first should have raw data, media elements. Then if media elements there, we have to move to the information object. Apart from media element, we need to go for information object, then we need to go for application object, then we need to go for aggregating assembles, I mean lessons, chapters, unit, brochures, to be just infused with all those three aforesaid components, then you can go for collections. Once all the four ventures are joined together, the products of e-learning will be available as ebooks, movies, stories, courses like that. So with the branching of the different things, the final theme of e-learning system is possible. Next, now we'll come to that. Within the e-learning, how there is a formal, informal and non-formal learning. Actually, we always consider that e-learning is always a formal. E-learning actually always never a formal learning. Sometimes it's a formal learning. Sometimes it is an informal learning. For instance, actually now what we are connected through webinar, I mean Google Meet, it is an exclusive formal learning to make every end user and speakers to join together to learn something under a particular e-learning platform, what is called a Google Meet. Now the formal meeting is structured and it has a goal, and just now instructor is led, either organizer or speaker leading this role. So it is a formal learning. But whereas in the case social learning media, WhatsApp, YouTube, Twitter, Skype, Facebook, lots of social media and the Web 2.0 technology, it makes the people to just go for informal learning. But here method is face to face, but here method is unplanned. So next we let move adaptive learning. Regarding adaptive learning, actually levels of adoption, this is a little complicated picture where you have to stay at least 1 minute on this particular slide. Adaptation should go from content level to link level to presentation level, then learner level, then it is going to learning path adaptation. Even for making a small PowerPoint, you have to just be familiarized with it. You have to be mastery over the content level. Only then you can link with the other sort of information. Only then you can move to presentation. So like that, the level of adoption and the learning object procedures, the four components should be put together to make adaptive. Adaptive is nothing but adaptation of the levels of knowledge, adaptation of the learning object, and adaptation of the learner's context, I mean parameters. At last, models are components or theory. So these all four united and just put together constitute adaptive e-learning. You can adapt e-learning. So far we have just discussed about the basic components features of e-learning. Then now this slide explain you how e-learning just actually is traveled from different parts. From 1980s to 1990, you know pretty well, it's a traditional and computer assisted training. But from the context 1998 to 2004, it is a e-learning era. Then why we are talking about e-learning? Actually, e-learning is a fundamental. It is a basic. Without a basic, actually, a multi-story building is not possible. In such a case, although you can talk about MOOCs, Moodles, blended learning, online platform, virtual learning, and many things, you cannot just involve in all those elements of learning without having mastery over the basic and fundamentals of e-learning. Then from 1995 to 2008, what I told you, blended and informal e-learning, because most of the time blended is informal e-learning only, because social media networking has been infused with learning context. That is why it is a blended. Now what from the 2008 onwards, now we are in the era of collaborative talent driven learning of e-learning concept. Then we'll move to learning community. It is simply called that online ecosystem or digital ecosystem. The learning community, for example, the student has a connected with the teacher, administrator, management, parents, peers, like that. That is the original ecosystem, that is the organizational climate of the so-called institutions. But the modern institutions climate, I mean online ecosystem, just the component is totally different. There also content is there, but the printed content is replaced by learning management system, content management system, media and games. And then it comes to collaboration, that is a student generated content. then it can be a self-paced learning. And most of the dialectic is used evaluation assessment as well as social and emotional reflection. So these different components actually unite and put together makes that online learning system or online ecosystem. So what is called the learning community. Now this actually picture shows that how the behaviors of, processing, even the behavioral terminologies, pretty well from Benjamin Bloom and revised and Anderson taxonomy, all the processing skills have been just coined with ing since because of the processing. This particular slide actually tell you that how this knowledge or every domain of teaching learning get actually metamorphosis by the infusion of by the entry of e-learning. For example, idea of knowledge, it becomes more static, but when we come to e-learning, social media, it becomes dynamic and high revolutionary. So constructional knowledge, pedagogical model becomes constructional. Once upon a time it was instructional, now it has become to constructional. So that behavior teacher control was high, but now teacher control is low or at most in 3 teacher control 3 classes. Like that, lot of changes in the behavior also have been changed. So these are all the role of a teacher in the on-campus, the new role of teacher. Pretty well, once upon a time teacher teaches in blackboard, but now live lecture. So these are the different components. It's funny picture that let me skip on. And another picture is just how teachers working in offline. Everybody thinks that actually teachers are enjoying, teachers are actually, they are more free during this COVID-19 pandemic, especially in the lockdown period. I honestly and I proudly say that all the teachers, at most of the teachers are very much active. Then they were in the so-called schooling. Then they were in the so-called college working day. Now they are very much busy. Always they have connected with online. They are going for meeting. They are attending. So lot of works are going on. So these are all the off-campus work of the teacher. Then we let's move to how teacher's role is increasing. As I told you earlier, even though in the during pandemic period, if he goes to college or school, his work is little slow only. But this pandemic period made every teacher to work so hard on that. So thanks to the authority for having this. So although this slide is taken from 2000, but it is an empirical slide. It has been given based on a research study that actually amount of online interactivity increases, that equal proportionate growth of learning also increases. So you please be reminded, people who hate technology or people who little aversion over technology can understood or at least can convince themselves that online learning or online interactivity, online, I can't say that online usage or being in online platform, online interactivity actually is always equal proportionate with the growth of learning. So these are all the different things. At last, I complete the introduction part of this e-learning is ETVTs. There is a concept as ETVTs, like activities. ETVTs is there. ETVT is nothing but it is a concept of making a learner to be inclined over e-learning platform and e-learning usages. So there are important 5 ETVTs that must be inculcated in each and every mind of the learners in terms of e-learning. What is called everyone has to access and everyone has to go for socialization, information exchange, knowledge construction, at last development. These are the 5 ETVTs must be inculcated on the mind of all the learners. Now we let's move to the concept of content management system. Actually, it is a very little thing. Regarding content management system, everyone have heard about CMS, LMS, ECMS, LMCS, LCMS. So what are all those terms? So for all those terms, the root is CMS only. CMS stands for Content Management System. So content is managed like information management system. Here content is managed. So CMS is the actually base. It is a generic term. CMS is a generic term where CMS has some of the specialized blocks or specialized components of learning, what is called the LMS, blogging, news, dev framework. For example, content management system is branched out into LMS in one dimension. So LMS is an offshoot of CMS. So CMS is generic term, LMS is a specified term. Although the terms different, but the concepts are little closer, but there is a unique difference. So LMS stands for Learning Management System. You know pretty well that content is different from learning. So once the content is uploaded, once the content is actually generated, that the job of the people is becoming over. But when we come to the context of learning, as told that learning is womb to tomb, actually the learning is from cradle to graveyard. Regarding LMS, the LMS make the people to just go and manage learning. So Moodle, Sakai and Blackboard learning are the different applications for LMS. And WordPress, Blogspots are different applications for examples for blogging. And Drupal, Asanic are the learning management system applications for news. And Drupal and Joomla are examples of Dev framework, because that is a particular software like Moodle. They actually dedicated a number of softwares regarding learning management system. So you have to understand that content management system is branched out into learning management system. It has a different applications. One of the applications is called Moodle. So why Moodle is become very famous, that you will let you know how Moodle is becoming famous. So content management system is, if for example, if you are starting and if you keep posting your questions, your answers, your notions, your thoughts, your activities, even it can be considered that it's a content management system. For example, even a blog which is created by your own site is considered to be a content management system, and probably just it always based and that just appears to be HTML. You know pretty well that the concept of Web 2.0 and Web 1.0. Web 1.0 is all about HTML. Web 2.0 is all about XML, where the producer alone can produce information, he or she alone can talk, he or she alone can deliver information. Whereas in Web 2.0, even an end user can revert back the information. For example, in Wikipedia, once upon a time, people can access information through Wikipedia, but later on now, if you go to Wiki, there is an option called the edit. If you click on that particular edit, it will ask you to publish changes. You can add your own information with the required references. After that, you can click publish changes. Then your information and your own annotations also will be added on. So what is called that content management system, just it makes all about HTML, but LMS is all about XML, where you also can upload content, you also can interact, you also can respond, you also can converse. So it is a own blog or website, and the LMS is a platform for housing all types of e-learning. LMS is a particular portal or a platform created by so-called mini software. They give room for housing your e-learning courses. That is, for example, WordPress and Tumblr, that they are all content management systems, where WordPress and Tumblr will not give room for every hosting, teacher or admin to give more and more content, but the LMS is actually easy to manage your content. For example, easylms.com. Then when it move to CMS and LMS, another is different. Just it is a passive application. Both are application. Both CMS and LMS are application, but CMS is a passive application, but LMS is an actually active application. How it is active? It motivates learner to interact, and it motivates the teachers to create. So creator is able to create a quick track progress of learner. So they can conduct tests, they can track the progress of students, they can upload the content, they can enroll the students, they can make the students to complete the whole course. what is called the learning management system. So although LMS is branched out into CMS, LMS has become very familiar due to its very good future. Now, if you go for procuring or if you go for downloading any LMS software or application or tool like Moodle, Sakai, WordPress, Joomla, Logla, Drupal, each and every application must have for this 6 important components. What is so content is very much important. No other go. Every LMS must have room for content management, and it should give access for communication. Then it should give access for collaboration. Then at last it should give access to access the content by end user. At last it goes for evaluation component. Then it will move to course design. So course design, content, communication, collaboration, access, evaluation. These 6 components must have been ensured in purchasing or in licensing a particular learning management system software. Then we'll come to the concept of Moodle. Out of the different management systems, just which I told you in the early slides, the Moodle is one of the best and user-friendly application for the learning management system. So the Moodle stands for Modular Object-Oriented Dynamic Learning Environment, because the learning environment become more dynamic with the help of modular objects, because the objects are modulated. The objects are actually made as a module. That particular module which is uploaded in the online platform, it makes the learner to feel that it's a direct exposure, to feel having synchronous learning. That is why called a modular object-oriented dynamic learning environment. It has been hosted right from 2002. Although it has its own history by 1982, but this particular actually person who is responsible for found out of Moodle software, then the important thing of that, it is designed to create and deliver a personalized learning environment. So learning environment is become more personalized, but the involvement of learning is the collaboration. The learning is personalized, but learning system is more collaborative. At last, it is a user-friendly learning management system. Then we let's move to different software. Why Moodle is very much famous? You know that just a scale based on the number of users that Edmodo is there, Blackboard, same tutorials exist in many Moodle software. I mean, LMS softwares are there, but Moodle is very famous out of its use. So Moodle is not only actually used in education sector, also it is used for other dimension, especially in business also. But online course development is one of its dimensions. These are all the advantages of Moodle. So there are 2 types of Moodle within the Moodle itself: self-hosted Moodle and a managed Moodle or a Moodle cloud hosting. Now, what we are talking about will be cloud hosting or managed Moodle. Self-host Moodle and managed Moodle, a small difference I will tell you through Moodle and the Moodle cloud. So Moodle cloud and Moodle is the example for self-host Moodle and managed Moodle. Regarding Moodle cloud, Moodle is a software. Suppose now we are in the version of 4.0 of Moodle. It starts from 2.8, 2.7, 2.3. And it has emerged. After that, now it is 4.0 version. But regarding installation of Moodle itself, will go for minimum 3 hours of time. Even if the person having very much technical knowledge, he or she has to spend at least 3 hours to install Moodle software. For example, to install Moodle software, first you have to install PHP Learning, MySQL, and live hosting. So live hosting, PHP, and MySQL, 3 types of languages are to be installed in your desktop or PC. Only then you can go for the server of Moodle. After that, there are 3 options. You have to install Moodle server, Moodle startup, and Moodle program file. So installation itself is very difficult process. And after installation, Moodle will be available as a software in your desktop only, in your laptop only. So visibility of your course becomes poor through Moodle. But Moodle Cloud is an online platform of Moodle, online platform that is brought to you by Moodle, which gives you lot of room to generate a content, create a content, and upload and host the content and manage a content. So Moodle is a software, and Moodle can be run through your own PC, but the server is also to be actually maintained by your own. But whereas in the case Moodle Cloud, we need not get any worry about server, hosting, this and that. Directly you can go for creating and managing your content. So widely, people all around the world, they go for Moodle Cloud only as a cloud hosted solution. So Moodle Cloud is also hosted by Moodle company only. Now, just at the moment, just I let the presentations. Shall I go for a tutorial session for Moodle Cloud for another sometime, sir? Hello, Madam Amudaranjani, Madam Pratipriya, Madam, are you with me? Hello.
You please proceed,
Hello.
sir. Please proceed.
So let me go for that. Now let me go for the tutorial session for MoodleCloud.com.
Yes.
So far, just you have been just learned what is e-learning and what are the components of e-learning, and how that e-learning actually have an infusion with the content management system. Then how content management system is branched out into a learning management system, and how learning management system further having dimensions with different blogging, newsfeed, WordPress, Joomla, and how it has been branched out into a Moodle, and how Moodle can be taken place. Now, during this online platform, conducting live demonstration is little difficult, and already people who have connected in phone is feeling difficult. So then that is why day before yesterday I made a screenshot of all my Moodle platforms. Then just I wanted to present it to you. Now what we are going to talk about is just a small tutorial on Moodle Cloud. So as I told you, is Moodle Cloud is different from Moodle. Moodle Cloud is a software, it's not a software. It is an online platform to host your content. But whereas in the case Moodle is a software. So installation is of Moodle is very difficult. But managing and hosting of your content through Moodle Cloud is becoming easier than that of Moodle. That is why all around the people in the world, they go for always MoodleCloud.com. So now we'll move to Moodle Cloud. So now this section will just give an access about how to sign in or sign up in Moodle Cloud. First, you have to go to the website what is called MoodleCloud.com. Here come the website what is called MoodleCloud.com. So this MoodleCloud.com slash this EN it makes mandatory. Once you go for the particular link, you will get the slide like this. Actually, this is a page. So here there are different options, subscription option, but this is the cost about just $80 to $50. So it is a free, directly you can go and put yourself in a free trial. So first you can go to MoodleCloud.com, the website name. Then you can just have a little tryout for a free trial. So you click just free trial, and after going for a free trial, you can just click get started. So get started. These are all requiring signing up. But here it gets started, only then it will ask you to sign up. So after get started, so now there are three actions. Are you new to Moodle? It will be asking like this. Already having an account means you can directly go to login, but you have to create a new account. So after clicking just creating a new account, there are four important options, because since you are going to be an admin, it will be cross-verifying that are you in age 18 plus. So you have to confirm all those things and you have to click the agreement, then you can go for next. After clicking next, it will be asking your every details. The people who are very good at the online tech platform and they keep using, especially when you are in a Google account, it will take your Google account directly. Once you click your information, it will take your minimum first name, last name, email, everything to be given. But regarding time zone alone, you cannot confuse with India. India is not available. Regarding GMT, Asia, Kolkata is the standard mean time plus 530 plus hours. So directly by default, Chennai, Delhi and Mumbai will not be available. So don't be panic or don't get confused. Directly Kolkata, Asia, Kolkata is available. So after that, just you can go for after filling out information. So now you can get another information after just India, Kolkata time zone. Just you go and enter your personal information. It will be keep adding information. So after some time, in the step 2, it will ask you to just enter your site name, how your site name needs to be appear. Now you are creating your own website for learning management system. For example, you have gone through the moodlecloud.com. After signing in, it will ask you just to go for how you wanted to be appeared. So first I put Ramnath. It shows that there are many Ramnath available in your name. Kindly go for some other option. After that, just I made a Ramnath LMS. Then your site name is available. So you must be very careful in giving out or in fixing the name for creating learning management system site. So Ramnath LMS is my site name. So now the green signal has come, your site name is available. After that, you can go for clicking and once you enter in the phone. So you must ensure that the phone number which you have uploaded in the first signing up option must be inactive and must be with you, because a verification code will be shared to your mobile phone. That verification code is to be just entered. Only then you will be redirected for signing up. So now just I'm in signing up. After that you can go for a password. Here also my special appeal to everyone that if you have some all numeric, some Google mail password and all, it will take you like anything. If you go to just to sign up in any important platform, better always have one small letter, one capital letter, one special character with that of one numeral. So an eclectic of password, an eclectic password alone is considered to be a strong password of all the important e-learning sites. So here also it needs one small letter, one capital letter at least, one numeral and one special character. If you put all those things, your password strength is weak. So after putting out in the next slide, my password strength, so my very strong, it shows that very strong. So you have to make a password like that. Till you make your password to be strong, it will not allow you to create a password. So that, as I told you earlier, one large, one small letter, one alphabetic and one numeral and one special characters like that, you can make your password. Then you can go for just your site actually is saved. I mean your account in moodlecloud.com is saved. So a message will be delivered to you as a success, and if you want you can save. Then will it move to, so thanks, let me take me to my Moodle site. So after clicking this site, otherwise you can sign out and just you can sign in again. But if you click this thing, it will be directly taking you to your site. So now we will move to registering our site. How to register your site? So once actually, as I shown earlier, so once thanks take me to Moodle site now, after clicking those information, you will get, and just you will be redirected to your own particular platform. Now, actually, this is my learning management system platform. So the name is ramnathlms.moodlecloud.com and a redirect. So here that URL link is appeared to be like this. So hereafter, with this particular type of link, you can always directly join with this particular platform. This is how you can make your own link for your own learning management system platform. So after identifying this, it will be appear like this. Now this is a dashboard. This is a home screen of the moodlecloud.com of Ramnath, not Moodle Cloud. This is Ramnath LMS Moodle Cloud. So this particular screen is not of Moodle Cloud. It is a Moodle Cloud hosted, but the screen is mine. The platform is mine. Now I am admin to this platform. I can do any changes. I can do any wonders in this particular platform. The screen will be appeared to be like this only. So for instance, here actually you have to go to my new Moodle site. You have to click in that your my new Moodle site. After clicking those information, actually you will be asking to rename your my Moodle site. So just I have given short learning is e-learning and my name is Ramnath LMS. So after clicking that, you can go for register your site. See, this is this particular learning management system screenshot I made actually exclusively for this presentation, this workshop presentation. Suppose if you want to run a program for large number of time, for example, 3-year program, 6-month program or 3-month certificate program, if you want to run, you go for the subscription option. In such a case, you have to mandatorily register your site so that you will get the periodical update, periodical assistance from the server or the people of Moodle. So it is better to register your site. But at the moment, I did not register my site. But anyhow, just I will show you how to register your site. Now you have to register information, name you have to put, and the site listing, how to your screen, how to your site to be appeared. So display my site name with link only or only name. So with the link, if you click display your site name with the link, it will be easier to the people to go to the site. Or sometimes if you don't want any people to allow, they have to join only through login means, you can just disable these things and you can give for the potential for e-learning this question. So after doing all those things, you can go for 1 minute. So so you have to provide this type of information. Then you can go for register your site. So after registering your site, but I did not register because here you can see privacy notice and data processing agreement is to be made with a separate document. Not only this agreement, another agreement is to be exchanged. This document is to be shared. So I did not join, but here by clicking this icon, you can register your site. Now we'll move to front page setting, because for all the Moodle, it is very much mandatory to set the front page. Here, you have to be very careful. So this is your own site. For example, e-learning. I mean, Ramnath LMS is a small name, a short name is e-learning. I have given. Site administration. Here you see that site administration for all the domains. If you click site administration only, these icons, these tabs will be opened. So always you have to come to site administration. After clicking the site administration, if you click the courses, suppose for one course, no problem. If you are running some 7, 8, 10, 11, 12 courses, how the learners will identify which courses, so that your display, that first page must be displayed very neatly. For which first you have to go to site administration. After going to the site administration, you can move to the front page setting. That is a drop down button, site administration. If you drop down, you will get a screen like that, front page setting. After going to the front page setting, if you click on this, so front page setting will be open. So how your full site name you want to be appeared? You can go for full site name and a short name. For example, as I shown earlier, e-learning is a short name of my site. The full name of my site is Ramnath Yellama. Like that you can create. After that, you can give a description just here, description in this tab box. For example, after giving description, there are some drop down menu. How many announcements to be appeared? For example, if you want 5 or 10 or only 3, you can by drop down, you can do anything. But by default, maximum 15 comments alone will be displayed. Comments means one announcement may be there. For that announcement, your learner would have would give reply. That reply will be available. How much reply should be available on screen? After making all the changes by drop down and entering menu, you can go for save changes. So go to save changes. After going to save changes, you will receive the screen like a changes saved. Till you receive the word changes saved, you should do some correction. Otherwise, the word character, space, so that particular problem is there. You have to ascertain that some problem is there. If there is no problem, you will get a message like changes saved. Like that, you can go for just setting at your front page display. Now you will go for a course setting. Now you have sign up and just you have entered in Moodle Club and you have opened an account. After that opening an account, you are served a particular link for your site. With the site, you have designed your front page. Now the another important phase is that you have to create a course. So creation of course is very difficult actually for which that although I am very much familiar or I am having more inclination towards creation of Moodle and just making content. But Sendilnadan sir actually very much actually asked me, sir, please you go and elite them in terms of Moodle. Then in another session we will talk about e-content. He requested me. That is why actually making content is separate part. But after making a digital content, after making a very good content, that the content will be just hosted, will be uploaded in the Moodle site only. So that first we let know what is Moodle, what is management system. That is why he asked me to deliver lecture on this platform first. I am very happy to just deliver the same. Now, as I just shown you course setting, again, for all things actually you can go for after site administration, you can go for your courses, then you go to introduction to Moodle. If you click introduction to Moodle, so if you click these things, introduction to Moodle will be available. This is by default. For all accounts, the same screen will be appeared. After just clicking the instruction to Moodle, then you can fix the steps. My courses. My courses. See, you can come to my course. What are all your courses? Now I am going to set up my course. So my site name is Ramnath Yellama. The short name of my site is e-learning. It will be always available like this. But after going this dashboard, that particular course name will be appeared. Now let me show you. So this is introduction Moodle. This is 2 times I have pasted the PowerPoint, the screenshot because of the understanding. So you have to go to introduction to Moodle, click. After introduction to Moodle, just a setting option will be appeared in the right top corner of your screen. So this is the setting. After clicking the setting, you can come for edit setting. So after setting up, that lot of menu will be appear. So here you can come for edit setting. So once you click edit setting, yes, edit course setting will be available like this. Now you can give just the name of the course. So what is the name of my course I have given for this course? Apps around webinar. What are all the applications that resolve around webinar? So this is the course name. After that, you can actually shorten the course name. So apps for webinar, apps around webinar is shortened as apps for webinar, or even you can more precise. You can more precise. After that, you can go for miscellaneous, scheduled, non-scheduled different courses. So since the course is just for demonstration purpose, I have put under the category of miscellaneous only. And whether the courses wanted to be appear on the screen, home screen, then I have given show. Now, very important concept is that, for example, you are doing some work, you wanted to introduce a course. Although you have made some prior arrangements, if you have some preoccupied schedule after sometimes at the time of launching of courses, you can just predetermine the day, time, course content, everything. You can set up the date. For example, course date 6th July 2020 at 10:30 a.m. And you have to click enable. After clicking the enable alone, you will get this step. You can fix up the end date of the course also. So I have made 3 months course from July to October. Then you can go for fixing that course date end date, and you can move to there's a description here. One second. This course name used to be given. The course name, credit, semester, student name, everything should be used. After doing all those things, see, very important note that here after giving the description about your course, you have to go and click this more option button. So this more option button will make you to the HTML page of this. Once you click and once you come to this context, HTML page. So you can come to HTML. If you come to context of HTML, so this.
Hello? Hello?
I think I
Sir, not audible. Your voice is not audible. Hello?
Sir, net issues, man.
Oh.
Hello.
Dear participants, please wait for a few minutes.
Okay, sure.
Ramnath sir? Ramnath sir? Ramnath sir, your voice is not audible. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Dear participants, there is one announcement. After ending this session, we will post attendance form in the chat box. Please submit the attendance form. After submitting, you will see a WhatsApp group link in the form. Please, you will join that workshop WhatsApp group link. Hereafter, we will communicate through the WhatsApp group regarding the Google Meet link, assignments, and workshop related activities. So after the end of the session, here we will post the attendance form. You please submit the attendance form. At the end of the attendance form, you will see a WhatsApp group link. Please, you will join that group for the further communication. Thank you, participants. Please, you wait
Okay.
a few minutes.
Okay, madam. Shall I
Okay,
start?
thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You continue,
Yes,
sir.
yes.
So actually, regarding the content creation and course creation, as I told you earlier, you can just setting out all your courses. So courses start date, end date, you can fix it. But unless you enable end date, you cannot just continue the tab. So you have to click this enable button. Only then this tab will be available to you. After doing everything, this is a description of your own course. After giving description, you have to go this more button option. So this is more button option. After going to more button, so this is a button for HTML, making word into HTML option, because the embed can be done only through HTML. So after enabling this HTML, so once the HTML page is available, then you can go to any of your video, and also you can just upload your own video, but embedding is very difficult. So directly you can go to any video, just go for right click. If you go to right click, it will be giving you an option that copy embed code. So after copying an embed code, you can come and paste here the embed code. After pasting an embed code and just give control save. After giving control save, yeah, introduction and video, video is coming. See, this is a shortest way. Instead of creating, actually, how to you have to create a video, content, material, whatever may be, all the content, materials, video, everything must have been stored in a particular online platform, and embed code is to be copied, and it must be stored in your course description. Once it has been, after enabling HTML page, if you store your tab will automatically be available in your course content. So after just enabling this course content, you can just go for inserting some image also for your course. After creating an image, then you can go for choose file. So if you want to give some image to, because students will identify which course, because always they cannot go and identify the name of the course by name tag, so that some images, some relative images will be very much useful to the users to identify the course name. So you have to choose image file for your course also. After that you can click. Now create and upload users. Users means you have signed up and you have made your learning management system software and platform. After that, you have categorized and customized your course. You have customized your course and you have uploaded your content. After uploading your content, you have to invite or you have to upload the users, students. So how to upload the users? Again, for all the tab, you have to come to site administration. Just courses I have given you. Next we will move to users. After that we will move to grades, plugins, appearance, servers, report development. That is separate. But I have covered only this 4 area. Due to want of time, I have touched on only 4 area of domain. Now we will move to site administration. Then you go to user. After user, then you have to go for add a new topic, because site administration is different. After site administration user, one site may host many number of courses, for which course you need to enroll students. So in such a case, I will tell you back once again, you have to go to site administration, then user. After clicking a user, you have to just go for add a new topic. Add a new topic means now new course name is potential for e-learning. In that another course is apps all around apps around webinar, but this course is nothing but potential for e-learning. So this potential for e-learning course I enabled. After enabling those course, you can go for users. So the first concept is user. Directly you can add user. For example, you can go for content add filter. So how you have to give first name and surname, email address, actually country, last name. So like that, you can add your user manually. This is, so I have adding people by manually, Sasikumar manual account. You can add it manually. For example, if you want to upload at least 100 or hundreds of students at a time, you cannot upload one by one. You cannot upload one by one. Whereas in the case, you have to create a particular Excel sheet in CSV file. Let me tell you. For example, this optional is there. So go to user, then you can come to upload users, upload user. After coming to upload user, here you can go for choose a file. See that the Moodle site itself has given an example of CSV. See, you might have heard about people CSV, comma separated value file. That is CSV delimiter only is accepted file here. If you go for XLS or Excel, it will not be accepted. So you have to ensure. For example, I will go to choose file. I am choosing a file, but the sheet is XLSX. For your understanding, I made like this XLSX file. It doesn't accept it. So like that, you can make first name, last name, email address, username. You can give password and just Cohet also. After going all those things, you can upload. So while choosing a file, you have to ensure that whether it is in the form of CSV. While sharing, so in the Excel file, if you go for the save, it will be default save as XLS file. If you go for save as, then it will take you for CSV delimiter file. So you ensure that whether CSV delimiter option is there or not. After just ensuring CSV delimiter. So this is example file for file format of moodlecloud.com. First one is username, first column. Second column is first name, and the third column is last name, and the fourth column is email. Then you can add just your password and go about everything. I mean ID of the student. You can add, but you have to ensure that whether it is in the CSV file. So after that, after uploading, a tab will be available like this. For example, myself, Ramna, my colleagues, Sasikumar, Mahendra Prabhu, I have made just dummy users. After uploading, their name will be appear, email, last name, first name. So after correcting these things, you can go for just upload users. You have to upload users after verifying the documents. So you have to verify here. After verifying, you have to go and click upload users. After uploading, actually upload user result will be available like this. So even now it is not been uploaded. How to upload? Again, you have to come to the concept continue. You have to give continue. Here, if you uploading, for example, 100 people, how many people skipped? User having big password, it will tell you. If there is an error, you can click which part, which user's name has an error, everything will be shown to you. It's very user friendly. After ensuring all those things, you can come and click the continue. After clicking continue, just just come to again your course name. Now the course name is potential for e-learning. After clicking course name, you can come to participants, because you have enrolled students, you have uploaded students, but I did not enroll. Uploading is different, enrolling is different. Uploading is just to the particular course, what I told you. Potential for e-learning courses, you have uploaded only, but regarding this site, you did not enroll them. So regarding after giving continue, you have to come to the course. After clicking the course, you have to go to participants. After clicking participant, you will get actually tab like this. Suppose if you uploaded 100 people, you can, by clicking this search directly, by giving actually tab button, you can select people. You also can exclude some people. So for example, people who wanted to be enrolled in this course, people who are not to be enrolled in this course can be just categorized, can be controlled by this menu. After clicking the students, you can go and click enroll user. For example, once the user is created, their name will be appear like this. After that, you can go for enroll user. After enrolling user, so the enrolled user name or list will be available. For example, myself also I have included, but my role is just a teacher. Now you can give a role to the students. For example, while giving username manually, you can give role to the students. This is upload file of just giving, you give a role to the students like that. What kind of role you wanted to give? This kind of option will available here. So you must be very careful in fixing that. Suppose if you click it, they will become a teacher. The portal will get collapsed. So always you must be very careful. So this is what you can do the uploading of a participant. Here, select user and assign role here. Enrollment option. So I have selected on Magendra Purban Sasikumar, and you have to go and click assign a role. There will be manager, course content, course creator, student, admin, teacher, like that. So you can click the role to each and every people. For example, leader also can be assigned here. So after assigning these things only, you can come to enroll. And after controlling, now you will see in the enrollment box that Magendra Purban is a student, Sasikumar is a student, but whereas in the case myself is a teacher. Even I can just delete for your purpose, just I have enrolled myself. So once the tab comes and you have seen this type of tab only, you as a time, you can confirm that your students have enrolled. So after doing this kind of enroll, directly you can just start up the courses with some other options. So how to make an announcement? For example, you have made the course. Now you can come for site announcement. You can just by site announcement, you can go for add a new topic. Just clicking add new topic. Now you can give hello viewers and participants. For example, people who are already connected with you regarding some other courses, you can give a new announcement from your site. You please ascertain that this is a site announcement, not a course announcement. Course announcement is different, site announcement is different. For example, already you have conducted 5 courses and it was successfully completed by a number of participants. So those participant email will be there. So now you can announce that by July and by August 1st week, new course will be started named after. Like this, an announcement can be given. And this is an announcement of your particular course. So always you mind that don't be confused with the site announcement and the course announcement. This is an announcement only to this particular course. This announcement will be appeared to the users who have joined in the potential for learning. But the aforementioned slide is site announcement. Whoever the participants that have learned any course, they can see the announcement of your site. So like that, always you can do just go for the site administration. I will give you again 1 or 2 slides only, and let me control by another just 2 to 5 minutes. So this is an important time. After coming to the site administration, the user, courses, grades, then plugin. Plugin is nothing but just exporting of, collaborating of different sites for smoothly running of, for consistently running of learning management system. So like that, you can just make your own Moodle sites. So I hope that at the moment, actually, this is the things. If it is a workshop by face to face, we can make people to work and upload. So even people who are connected through mobile phone, I don't know how extent actually they have come to the screen and how extent it was in the better sharing. So although it was a session with a short span of time, I hope that actually everybody has got a little insight on e-learning in its components, as well as the e-learning with the content management system, e-learning with the learning management system, and how Moodle is a very familiar learning management system, and how you can go and make your own administration in your own googlecloud.com. So with this small presentation, I just to stop the presentation. I'm just stopping sharing. So I wholeheartedly to the organizers once again, for having invited me, and I hope that actually you have got the insight. Thanks for all the audience. Now I'm just ready for discuss with you for any queries. If you have any comment and queries, kindly just you can go for nod reaction, or also you can just raise your hand and you can discuss with me. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. There is some questions in the chat box. Just I will give you one by one. A person is asked whether there is a difference between Moodle Cloud and Geomi. Is there any difference between Moodle Cloud and Geomi, sir? There's a question.
Moodle Cloud and the
Geomi.
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 Geomi. Actually, Moodle Cloud, as I told you, Moodle Cloud just is a hosting platform. Moodle Cloud is a hosting platform. As I told you, Moodle is a software created by that company Moodle. But the Moodle Cloud is a already hosting platform. As I told you, Moodle is a software only. If you install those Moodle, it will be available in your print screen only, PC only. But Moodle Cloud is an online platform where you need not get any worry about server, management of server, managing server, as well as actually managing your content, everything. They will give a room for hosting your content. But Geomi means it's one of the learning management system. But out of all those different learning management system, regarding LMS, Moodle is actually outspoken, and actually it is well used by the n number of participants throughout the world because of the user friendliness. Even if you go for, just as I told you, WordPress, Drupal, it does not give you room for hosting many number of courses, as well as it doesn't give you room for just for user-friendly content creation. So in such a case, Moodle is the best. So when we come to the context, Moodle is Moodle Cloud, online housing platform for the uploading of a content by a particular person. Okay, madam?
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. Another question is that is Moodle Cloud permanent or temporary site, sir?
Yes, actually, exactly. This is what already I told you. Moodle is the permanent. Moodle, if you install Moodle, this is I told you for the workshop. But what deliberations that we are doing, the same thing can be done in Moodle. MoodleCloud.com is a housing platform that I have made use for this particular August gathering forum. If you subscribe with a little amount of money, for example, $50 or $75 per month or year, then you can long life hosting the program. But whereas in the case regarding Moodle, if you correctly install it, you can just run a course for a long time. But the thing is that visibility is more to the courses run through MoodleCloud.com. Visibility may be poor to the Moodle just to deliver the program, because if a particular famous company, for example, state government or central government, a particular franchise posting program through Moodle is very good. But when we come to the individual concern, the Moodle is permanent software where you need to just install. This is what I told you, regarding installation of Moodle and all, it takes more time. That is why that manipulation can be done in MoodleCloud.com. This is for the demonstration purpose, but I know pretty well that Moodle is permanent. But MoodleCloud.com is a housing platform only, and that too, here you can maintain your own server in Moodle, but you cannot maintain your own server in Moodle Cloud. They give some space for you, and you can utilize within that particular space only. For example, maximum of 45 hosts, 45 content can be generated at a moment. That's all. Got it? Get it, madam? Am I right?
Okay, right. Thank you, sir. There's another question. Can we compare Moodle with G Suite?
Moodle, but G Suite. G Suite Marketplace. See, G Suite Marketplace is a marketplace of Google, where they give more and more number of extensions to the Google applications. But the Moodle, whereas in the case, is not a product of or byproduct of actually Google. Google G Suite Marketplace, they give most of add-ons and extensions. There are two variety of applications are available in G Suite Marketplace. For example, when we come to this Google Meet as an example, shall we take Google Meet as an example? You cannot just freely conduct a seminar with that of only Google Meet. For which you need to go just tab grid view is there, node reaction is there, split is there, split me is there, grid view is there, tab resize is there, Google Meet extension, Meet Advanced Collector, Meet Advanced. There are a lot of extensions are there. All those extensions and add-ons are available in G Suite Marketplace. Even for webinar generating certificate, certify them. I mean, actually, it's a certify them, but it is called shortly as Certify EM. Certify EM is an add-on for Google Form that is available in G Suite Marketplace. That name itself is G Suite, Google Suite. So actually, it has no connection with Moodle. No connection with Moodle. You yourself has to create a content, but the thing is that with the help of web tools, you can just develop your content with the help of Google. I mean, tools that developed by tools available in G Suite. That can be done. But G Suite has no connection with Moodle up to my knowledge.
Okay, thank you so much. That's all, sir.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Okay, it's time to propose a vote of thanks, sir. So I am here, Anafia, to propose a vote of thanks. Thank you so much, sir, for excellent presentation and for making this workshop an exciting and meaningful one, sir. The way you explained the topic was explanatory. Thank you so much for spending your precious knowledge and time with us and highlighting the importance of e-learning and Moodle in today's platform of teaching and learning here. I think being a beginner for me, I have learned a lot, a useful thing in this platform. Thank you so much, sir. And I have to thank the participants here who have present here for their asking question and interactive one. Thank you, participants, for everyone. I have to thank my management for supporting us a lot and our principal who is motivating us and encouraging us throughout this one. I thank everyone who are present here. Thank you so much, and we will meet you tomorrow.
Thanks for inviting me, and I thank all the participants who have joined. Thank you, and stay connected. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Shall I leave the meeting, madam? Shall I leave the meeting?
Sir, thank you, sir. Only one question from the chat box. In free version, it is available only for 45 days.
Yes.
It is available. Then we can upload it.
Yes, after that, you have to go for subscription. That is MoodleCloud.com. But regarding Moodle software, you need not go for any subscription. It is fully free. Moodle is free. Moodlecloud.com is subscription based.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Any more question? Any more question?
Ramnath sir, I am Rasul.
Please, sir. Sir, please, sir. How are you, sir? Thank you.
Presentation, sir.
Thank you, sir.
There are like Professor Vedi.
Professor, respected Professor Rasul Mahedin, sir, your voice is not audible.
Okay, I am Dr. Rasul speaking. I congratulate you. Nothing special.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you.
There are so many pictures from among the audience that I would like to share with you. To mention Professor Vedi. And there are professors from the university and I am principal. Subramanian from Vidyalaya. Thank you for coming and sharing your valuable knowledge.
Thank you, Professor. Very kind of you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, madam. Shall I mute?
Sir, thank you for your wonderful presentation, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you for your acceptance. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so thank you to all the participants, organizers, and college people. Thank you, sir. Shall I leave meeting, madam? Dr. Sachipriya and Dr.
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
sir, thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Dear participants, the attendance link is in the chat box. Please submit it. At the end of the attendance form, you will see a WhatsApp group link and immediately you will join in the WhatsApp group. Thank you, participants, for your patient listening.
One announcement for the participants. Tomorrow onwards, try to come open this Google Meet in the laptop itself. Tomorrow onwards, some of the activities given by the resource person that will be used to create our e-content in a successful manner. So try to come with the laptop or PC itself. Thank you.
Subramanian இருக்கீங்களா? Subramanian ராமகிருஷ்ண வித்யாலயா.
Subramanian sir, unmute your mic and
பிரின்சிபல்
இருக்கேன். நல்லா இருக்கீங்களா?
நல்லா இருக்கேன். நீங்க நல்லா இருக்கீங்களா?
நல்லா இருக்கேன். நம்ம யுஎஸ் காலேஜ் ப்ரோகிராம்னால சரி அட்டெண்ட் பண்ண ப்ரோகிராம் இஸ் வெரி நைஸ். நீங்க சக்சஸ்ஃபுல்லி அரேஞ்ச்டு. My thank to principal and all faculty members those who are arranged the IQAC meeting very nicely. Congratulations. Tomorrow we will join.
பெரிய ஆளு நீங்க உங்க காலேஜ்ல இருந்தே ஒரு பிரின்சிபல் சுப்பிரமணியன் அண்ணா வந்து அட்டெண்ட் பண்றது எங்களுக்கு ஆனர். இன்ஃபேக்ட்
நல்லா இருந்தது, நல்லா பண்ணாரு. பட் அந்த ஒரு நாளையில இருந்து ஒர்க் ஷாப் ஆக்டிவிட்டிஸ் கொடுக்கறேன்னு சொல்லிருக்காங்க இல்லையா? We will do that. Thank you, sir. Thank you, professor. Thank you.
Sir. Thank you, sir. Please join in the WhatsApp group.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Dear participants, the attendance form is in the chat box. You please fill it and you will leave from this.
வரவு வந்து மந்த்லி வரவு வந்தா நமக்கு அதான் போட முடியலையா? மாசம் வரவு எடுத்து ஆமா சார் 6 மாசம் வரவு